Welcome to Cannabis School. I'm your host, Jesse Angeles.
And I'm Brandon Elder.
And we're here to talk to you about everything pertaining to cannabis, from vape,
flower,
edibles,
strains,
and everything in between.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah?
I'm doing really good, yeah.
Is it the banana taffy?
No. Banana taffy's okay. It's not super strong.
No.
It's very heady. I like it.
It is very heady.
More towards the back of my head than it is the front. But it's nice. It's really nice. I didn't feel it in my eyes at all. Cotton mouth. It's the only downside.
Interesting.
But I like it.
I feel grape ape is pretty centered. Like I don't feel it in
That's
my
an
head
indica,
much.
right?
Yeah, it's more indica based hybrid, but
Definitely got that
feel more
Kool-Aid,
central,
purple Kool-Aid
yeah.
flavor.
But that's awesome.
I like grape ape. That's actually a really good one.
We're not talking about either grape or bananas today because,
No.
you know.
Well, actually, it's into that theme. So there are strains that we get to partake of that are just, they not only sound tasty, but they are tasty.
Oh, yeah. Super fruity, this one.
This one's great. I mean, I think of it as a dessert. I think a lot of it, like where you talk about you can't find any of this in the United States.
Yeah, still looking.
But
Gelato is so tough to find in the States. But
what's the strain we're talking about?
lemon cherry gelato.
Oh, right.
This just reminds me of the limoncello flavors. I'm thinking of like that lemon and cherry, but like the limoncello that we would get down at Oregano's.
Yeah.
And that just, the flavors on this lemon cherry gelato are fantastic.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
I like it's a deeper cherry note. I'm thinking of like harvest time with cherries, right? Midsummer. You're pulling them off. They're darker. It's like a kind of a darker cherry taste. I get that. I don't get the citrusy notes at all. Not at all. But I do get a darker cherry flavor.
Yeah, definitely some cherry notes in that for sure.
It's really good though. This is more of an indica leaning strain, if I'm not.
Yeah, and it was a really
mistaken.
smooth, like creamy kind of smoke with that.
Yeah, no cough.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely no cough.
Just like a gelato.
Yeah.
Very smooth, very sweet, just awesome experience with that.
Yeah, very body, but slightly heady as well, which is not common with an indica strain, at least for me. I felt it throughout the body. This one was great for pain relief. I've struggled with knee problem on my right knee for quite a while now. And every once in a while I get a flare up, especially going to the gym, doing some squats, doing all the, doing these, they're called Zercher squats. Those are brutal on your legs. After that, I remember one time coming home from the gym, I was just like, fuck. And I was like, what the hell? I'm just going to load some of this up, even though it was midday. It was nice. When you have pain, it's going to actually go towards the root cause of your pain.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get super sleepy on it. You can go to sleep on this because it's an indica, but not all indicas are like
good
that.
Daytime or nighttime kind of strain, but it's great for pain. It's used as like an analgesic where it does specifically help with pain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great for an antidepressant. This is like if you have a negative mood, if you have pain, this is going to kick its butt.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it almost kind of goes along with the name. The name is, hey, sit down, have yourself a snack, and get yourself a smile. This is that kind of strain. It's very good, very tasty, which is always nice. I can only imagine in a distillate, it's going to be really good, unless it's like a really crappy distillate. But I mean, it's just really uplifting.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Like it is go slow for new user strain.
Yeah.
Its THC percentage is upwards of 30% in its highest ones.
Yeah, averaging around, your
25.
mid to low 20s, depending on where you find it. It's always a mixed bag, but it's pretty strong.
Yeah, the highest tests are over 30. So it's got quite the THC percentage in that.
And for you users who are like, oh man, I only go for the highest percentage, like you're missing out. You're really missing out. There's a lot of opportunities with other strains, but again, it goes with your intent. So if you're just looking to get messed up,
I mean,
this might be that strain for you.
But it does have good terpenes too. Like it's still got limonene, myrcene, caryophyllene.
Well, and a good thing about this too is typically at nighttime is when I use. After 5 p.m., I'll typically try it. Sometimes during the day.
Yeah.
Just depends on the type of day I've got.
I'm very similar. Anytime after 5 a.m., I'm fine using.
Oh, that's some funny shit. But totally, once you are able to take it, this one you can actually function pretty well during the daytime, as you had stated. But it's also really good even at night when you're trying to relax and you just kind of unwind and you've got a little bit of pain. This isn't going to put you to sleep, so you could enjoy a movie or read a book with this. It's not too, like I said, for an indica. Indicas typically aren't very heady for me, which is really nice. But there are some that are like just hit my whole body and put me into couch lock. I don't know if this puts you into couch lock.
No, it takes a good amount of some really solid stuff to give me anything near that.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. What's the lineage on this?
So this one came from a whole different line than where I first looked. So this comes from Sunset Sherbet and Girl Scout cookies.
It's pretty good.
Two really good strains. Oh, no, I've had Rainbow Sherbet. I don't think I've had Sunset Sherbet.
I have never had Sunset.
But I would bet that it's got a lot of like citrusy notes in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely have that. Again, I think you're going to get that more in a distillate or in a concentrate. You're going to get the strong flavors on that, but it's hinting on there. It's very fruity. The aroma from the grind is very fruity. It's the best way, like right after a fresh grind, not pouring anything, just opening up your grinder, taking a good whiff of that. It's very nice. It almost
you do get citrusy tones in the smell, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Not
absolutely.
in the smoke, I didn't get it, but in the
rarely with any type of citrusy ones, unless it's like
Super Lemon Haze for sure. That one every time has these overbearing like lemony notes, and it's incredible.
Oh yeah, I told you I had that in a saucepan.
Oh,
and it was.
I mean, just flour
so
alone
good.
too. Like,
oh, totally.
I
Super
can
lemon
only
haze?
imagine that in a really great cultivar in like a saucepan would just be delectable because, even in flour,
I burned through that pan like it was
like a day.
So good. It was a weekend. I mean, it's like one of those.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. You know, pens are like candy, and so you got to be careful with them. You can go through them really fast. But with this, I don't know, man. I
blew through it.
Yeah, I went through it pretty quickly. It was kind of a sad day. And for a sativa strong user, that says a lot. I can smoke sativa morning, noon, and night. No problem. Sleep well.
Supposedly this one helped. Like some people do get couch lock from this.
They must be smoking a lot.
Right.
There's some sativa strains that make me feel that way too.
New users.
Yeah, that's true. New user, definitely go low and slow on this. I would recommend using, if you can find this in a vape for a new person, I would do a vape pen above being able to start with flower. I would go vape pen, flower, and then edible by making your own from your own flower. But the flower side, it was good, but
Is it for flavor that you would choose the pen over
no,
the
for
flower?
dosing.
Interesting. Okay.
Because with flour, you either use it or lose it. And a lot of people are going to load up a full bowl.
And that's too much for someone. If you're smoking alone, if you can pass a bowl, if you're sharing it.
But that's not always the case with our. Some of our listeners are extremely new to this. Some of them have family members that are really against it, which they're just a bunch of godless heathens. But
you know the best thing? Casey, my buddy, he actually just made these tiny little gravity bongs out of a Gatorade bottle. And on the top is just this tiny little gold piece. And he said the bowl is maybe the size of a pea, but because he does that and he uses a gravity bong, it's more than enough for him. And it's just like a really nice solid hit. So maybe if you use really tiny amounts, you could make something like that. Because we know all you cannabis enthusiasts are quite creative when it comes to making stuff. Apparatuses
mechanically inclined.
Mechanically inclined.
Right? Yeah. I mean, you're a problem solver. You're always thinking of like, hey, how could I consume this differently? Which is good. I think that's great. That's why, bubblers and small bongs work really well for me. Big bongs, I mean, I'm down with that too. But there are pipes I'm not a big fan of. But the weird thing is I like a joint.
I prefer a joint over a pipe too. I feel like pipes, the hits are harsher, but I can still take a hit off of a joint and somehow it's not as harsh to me feeling as a pipe hit.
Yeah, and this would be I actually smoked this in a joint and I really liked it. I think that the joint actually got more of the flavors from there, the citrusy notes, the sweeter notes, the darker cherry flavor in there I could definitely feel. But when smoking it in a vaporizer, it just smells and tastes like roasted peanuts.
Yeah.
And so it's good. It's not bad by any means. And maybe it's just a vaporizer reason. Maybe it's aging. I've heard that about packs that after time, it's going to lose its potency. It's going to lose its like burning. I've actually had that on the last few sessions. Like I just full on don't get as much smoke. I got to wait.
Oh no, is yours like mine now where mine was having issues and I haven't used it in 6 months?
I don't know. It's at the point now where no matter what strain I put in there, I try to do a light pack or, even a full pack, and it takes forever. Like I got to let it
heat up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I got to let it heat up for quite a while. And then after I take a couple hits, I got to let it sit for a second. But again, with the vaporizer, you're expecting clouds, and sometimes you don't get those clouds. You just barely get a little bit, but just know that you're getting that THC. So for me, it's the cloud factor, which just means that the product is taking longer, which means it's probably not by far the best to use when it comes to vaporizing flower. There's a lot of different options for flower. Definitely looking at like, using a small bubbler or something like that. That's great. But yeah, it just isn't the same. And when trying lemon cherry gelato with my PAX 3, it was okay. It was good. I mean, I still got the great feelings and effects I wanted from it.
But the flavor's not the same through that device.
Yeah. Rolling a nice joint was awesome. I mean, it didn't hurt that I had like orange tasty papers, right?
Oh, yeah. Perfect pairing.
But, even then, I would rather get like the pre-roll cones that you can buy from Raw and put this type of flower in there just for the simple fact that it just takes so long to roll and all that. I'd rather just pack and roll the tip and wet it down and let's go. But that was by far the best experience that I had out of. What about you?
I really love this one. My go-to is my bong. You know me.
Yeah.
With that, normally I'm using my bong. Sometimes if I'm going out hiking, I'll roll some joints and bring them along. But most of the time I'm going to use my bong.
Yeah.
Just because it's the best experience, the best flavor that I've found so far. And I don't really have any complaints about it. But I do love a great joint. And I feel like it burns so fast. And I'm always like, oh man, it's all gone. And then I just want to smoke another 3 or 4 joints. So I find like joints just leave me wanting more and more.
So I'm going to go into...
you have a review for us?
Yeah, I got a review.
Yeah, you do.
So this comes from Funky Boosh. It's a cool name. As advertised, there is something very uniquely lemony / tangy cereal milky going on here, and I love it. Got an 1/8 of a lemon cherry gelato, and it's the bomb. Yeah, this is again, we've already kind of gone over the highlights of this one. This is definitely for a consumer that's looking for something fun as far as flavors go, and experience that's not too locked into the couch. Low and slow, definitely. Even your more moderate users, I would definitely not load up a full bowl. I would start with like a half bowl or a quarter just to test it out. You're going to get a couple of hits off of that. and then let it sit for just about 5 minutes. It kicks in very quickly.
It's nice. I feel like if you do that anyway with a new strain, you smoke it, you take a few hits, you let it settle in.
Yeah, let it get in you.
You see where it is that you're feeling it, what you're feeling. You're like, okay, I'm feeling this. Maybe a little bit more, like the Jealousy review. And then we took a few more hits, and it was an ever-adapting, changing experience. It was like, oh.
Brandon took a few more hits. I only had 2 hits, and that shit had me fried.
Well, I would just, pick him to keep smoking, see how it went.
Yeah, but it's highly recommended. Great fruity flavors. A very chill strain, not too hard in the indica paint. It's just a really good, again, an entry level. You could definitely do this, but you have to go low and slow.
Yeah. I give it like an 8 out of 10. I feel like it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I would agree. Right on that. It's a great strain. Is it a go-to strain on indica? No, but
check it out. It's worth trying.
It's really good, and maybe it's worth keeping in your rotation.
Maybe it'll be your go-to strain.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know in the comments. Also, just a quick reminder, every dollar helps. Go to our Patreon, give $1. We're not begging for it. We're just asking for it. This helps us to being able to continue to produce great content that we continue to do so all the time. Plus, you get behind the scenes of longer episodes of our interviews. Some of our interviews go up to like almost 2 hours.
An hour and 20, yeah.
Hour and 20 is our longest?
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's a really, really good, it just supports us, and we appreciate that.
Yeah. And if you can't give $1, go leave us a review. It helps us reach more people like you.
Yeah, go to Apple. Spotify's now, I think, going to be doing written reviews.
What?
I don't know. We'll see.
If so, do. Yeah, that would be crazy.
But definitely go to Apple. Leave us a written review. That helps us out a ton. If you just hate Apple so much, go to Spotify. We love you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.